state as the Phillies get set for Game 1 of a 4-game series out here at PNC Park against the last-place Pittsburgh Pirates. And the news today out of...
Although they have been able to win there in 08, 2-1, really not getting the games together the way they need to.
Yes, Sarge, when they opened up this ballpark back in 2001, the Phillies took 2 of 3 from the Pirates, but since that time, they are 11-17 overall against Pittsburgh. Well, tonight, Cole Hamels makes the start for the Phillies, and Cole has been kind of up and down, but he's had a good start here at PNC Park over the last year.
Yeah, he can pitch if he can get the ball down. He needs...
West Airlines. Want to see what a real airline is like? Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. Black and gold is going to be overrun by the Phillies red and white this weekend. On this holiday weekend out here in Pittsburgh, a lot of fans have made their way to this side of the state to see the Phils in the first of this 4-game series. Let's take a look at the Phillies starting lineup, brought to you by Xfinity, only from Comcast. Leading it off
this year against him this year, 309 lifetime.
Little roller toward the right side. Andy LaRoche has got it, and Victorino's retired for out number 1. Shane was way out in front of that pitch.
Kind of what he was saying.
A line drive, base hit to left center field for Dobbs. It's cut off into the alleyway, so Dobbs will hold up at first. 2-0 the count to Jimmy. And he pops it up. Shallow left field, backing up is Bobby Crosby, the shortstop. And he puts it away for the second out. So 2 away, Dobbs goes back to first. Pirates defense on the infield is a little different than when we saw Pittsburgh in Philadelphia. You see now the 3 infielders go to the right side of the diamond for Ryan Howard. The second base up of the first. And a fly ball to straightaway center. Andrew McCutchen in the sunshine puts it away. And the Phillies are retired here in the top of the first. No runs. 1. Scoreless ball game as we go to the bottom of the first inning here at Pittsburgh. Out on the Allegheny, folks are enjoying a beautiful day here in Pittsburgh, and I hope it's as nice back home in the Delaware Valley. Here's the Pirates.
93-94 with his fastball. And you see those shadows setting towards left and left center, and Shane Victorino moving towards right center with him down in the count.
Swing and a miss. He got him. Hamels with a couple strikeouts in this inning. He retires the Pirates in order here in the bottom of the first. So we've come
in the first inning. It looks like they're having trouble seeing right now.
Another changeup, and Schneider's down on strikes. And McCutchen has just struck out the side here in the second. No runs, no hits, nobody left. That's right. Lion of Wine fan. Where else? Don't miss tea time at the AT&T National tonight at 11. Only on Comcast Sportsnet. No score here in the bottom of the second. And Daniel McCutchen, who had 9 strikeouts.
Field. What, does that mean anything? I don't know. Maybe he's more relaxed out there. Maybe he sees the ball off the bat better. And, you know, it's helped his hitting.
It is a shorter porch over there in right.
Yeah.
That one's on the hands. That's going to be a base hit. First hit of the night for the Pirates. And Millage takes a wide turnaround first, so he's aboard. 1. And a line drive base hit to left field. Millage is going to score easily from second. Domet goes to third as the throw goes to second. And it's 1-0 Pirates. And Cole has only thrown really fastball. He hasn't. He might have thrown a cutter here or there.
Well, he's trying to throw his changeup, but nothing's happening.
Valdez sends it in the air to deep left center field. That one's way back there. It's gone.
Wow.
To the left of the 410 sign in left center. It's his 4th homer of the year, and the Phillies have tied it up at 1.
Man, that's deep where he hit that thing.
It's a 1-1 game. Beautiful scene of downtown Pittsburgh here at PNC Park. A ground out to short his first time up there is the Roberto Clemente Bridge. With the sun glistening off of it. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2.
Now there's a changeup.
3-2 the count to him. And he lays off. It's a fastball in and high. And he's aboard with the leadoff walk. Coors Light Freeze Cam. As we said, it's beautiful here in Pittsburgh right now. I was just soaking it in before the start of the ball game up here in the booth. Blue skies all around. All the bridges that go across the Allegheny from downtown Pittsburgh to here at the ballpark. Some of the skyline here in Pittsburgh, and it really is a great setting. And that's our Coors Light Freeze Cam. So nobody out, runner at first. Pedro Alvarez the hitter, and Alvarez sends one in the air deep to left center field. Going back is Victorino into the alleyway, and that one is a one-hopper off the wall. Rounding third, heading for home is Tabata, and he's going to score standing. It's an RBI double for Alvarez, and it's 2-1 Pittsburgh.
Go bottom eight, Wilson Valdez hits one into the gap on the right side, and he is moving. Going into third with nobody out for his second triple of the season. Two batters later, first and third for J-Roll. Lines one to left. Valdez will tag. He will score from third. The most exciting play in baseball makes it 3-2 Phillies. Then Brad Lidge comes on to close it out in the ninth. Facing former Philly Miguel Cairo with two down, and that's a double on the left side into the gap. Votto scores from third. It's a new game tied at 3. Lidge's third blown save in his last 4 opportunities. Then in the 12th, here's Brian Schneider. Remember the pass ball?
That one's in the air, deep down the right field line. It's a bullet, and it's gone. And the Phillies have won it here in the 12th.
Well, that ball just passes over the wall and right. The Phillies win it in walk-off fashion. 4-3 the final. A lot of
perfection for that one moment in life.
A perfect game. Roy Halladay.
Ubaldo Jimenez has no-hit the Atlanta Braves.
Or when all your dreams come true in one swing of the bat.
A home run, Albert Pujols.
While others shine the brightest, not from fame, but through service and sacrifice. So what makes a star? It is a child's question, much like baseball is a kid's game. Tonight in this city of angels, we celebrate the very best this game has to offer. Baseball's midsummer classic, the All-Star Game, is next on Fox.
Welcome to the Sharp All-Star pregame show on Fox. Hollywood is the home of movie stars. Well, tonight, 35 miles south is where baseball stars align for the Midsummer Classic. It's the third time the All-Star Game visits the Big A. The NL won here in '67. The AL got it done in 1989. So who will be the hero tonight? Maybe Joe Mauer, the leading vote getter, or perhaps 3-time NL MVP, Albert Pujols. And with that, hi everybody. We welcome you to the 81st All-Star Game on Fox, presented to you.
Brian McCann and Jason Hayward. From the Chicago Cubs, Marlon Byrd. From the Cincinnati Reds, Brandon Phillips. Joey Votto. Scott Rowland. And Arthur Rhodes. From the Philadelphia Phillies, Roy Halladay. And now let's meet the National League manager and starting lineup. The manager from the 2009 National League champion Philadelphia Phillies, Charlie Manuel. Leading off and playing shortstop from the Florida Marlins, Hanley Ramirez. Batting second and playing second base from the Atlanta Braves, Martin Prado. Batting third and playing first base from the St. Louis Cardinals, Albert Pujols. Batting fourth, the designated hitter from the Philadelphia Phillies, Ryan Howard. Batting fifth.
And everywhere we go, sun will always, always shine. 'Cause we are beautiful, no matter what they say. Yes, words can bring us down. Oh no.
We are off and running in Anaheim, California, aren't we? Off to a good start. Some of the smiling faces of the players on display here tonight. They're just kids playing a kid's game. And a welcome back for Vladimir. We'll continue after this.
And the home of the brave.
We will take a quick break and then come back and set up tonight's All-Star game right after this as we continue from Anaheim.
He played right here in Anaheim from 1979 through 1985 and was a key member of the Angels' first two American League Western Division championship teams in 1979 and 1982. Ladies and gentlemen, seven-time batting champion and Baseball Hall of Famer, Rod Carew, to throw to Torrey Hunter.
That was a solid first pitch. He had some heat on it. Good way to get this thing going. We'll come back and talk about this 81st MLB All-Star game right after this. AL-NL.
Hard to figure out what's going to happen, but I think the National League has to take advantage of their pitchers more than the American League. What a lineup the American League has. As an example, Joe Mauer, who's won 3 batting titles, is batting 7th. So maybe from Jimenez in the bottom of this inning.
Little roller to the first baseman. Cabrera takes it to the bag. His first time as an AL All-Star, and that's out number 1. So we'll just give you the numbers and talk about unbeaten in 13 straight. There was the tie in 2002. 3-time MVP, the Rookie of the Year in 2001. And he's right in the middle with Gehrig to his right, Babe Ruth to his left. Here's a 2-1. That is a rocket into right center field. Ichiro over to get it, and the inning is over. And somebody gets a souvenir out in the seats in right center field. Ichiro Ubaldo Jimenez. What else do you want a guy to do in the first half of the season? A record of 15-1. And that fastball rides up and away to Ichiro to start his night. Third Dominican-born pitcher to start an All-Star game after Mario Soto in '83, Pedro Martinez, Ubaldo's idol, in '99. Little pop-up left side of the field. Hanley Ramirez is out. That's out number 1. And now for a special moment.
Gentlemen, to introduce our next batter, we turn to the voice of legendary New York Yankee public address announcer Bob Shepard, who passed away this weekend at the age of 99.
Now batting for the American League from the New York Yankees, the shortstop, number 2, Derek Jeter. Number 2.
And that's how Derek Jeter will walk to the plate the rest of his time as a Yankee. Passing away this past weekend, Bob Shepard at the age of 99 as Ubaldo Jimenez misses low with ball 1.
And you mentioned George Steinbrenner at the age of 80. Rest assured there will be 2 more monuments added to Monument Park at Yankee Stadium next year.
Here comes a 1-0 pitch to Jeter. That's low, and the pitcher can't be a very comforting feeling. With 1 out, nobody on, walk to Jeter. Right in the middle of this American League lineup. And a little flare into right field is going to drop for a base hit. Derek Jeter will turn and go to third. And just like that, the American League has first and third with one out in the first inning. Infield is in a bit. The 0-2 pitch. Back to Jimenez to second, out. Hanley Ramirez in the middle, and we're scoreless through one. If you're Broxton, you can't get beat with anything but that, can you?
No, I don't think so. No sliders right here.
Tying run at the plate. And a fly ball off the end of the bat, falling in a hurry. Here comes a right fielder. Bird has to play it on a hop. And out at second on a brilliant defensive play by Marlon Byrd. The slow-footed David Ortiz is forced at second, 2 away.
You can understand the plight of Ortiz on that short hop, the wherewithal to throw one hopper for Kyle at second base and get Ortiz. Ortiz going back to first, and by the time he commits to second base, a hit is turned into a force play. Great reaction.
But he's forced at second on a ball that fell in and right. Now Buck is running. Here's a fly ball into right center, and there's Young. The National League wins it 3-1. And the celebration in the outfield between a Houston Astro, an Arizona Diamondback, and a Chicago Cub. And it's the Chicago Cub, Marlon Byrd, who made the best defensive play of this 81st MLB All-Star game.
To be as alert as he was and know who the runner was. Of course, David Ortiz was caught in between first and second, right in front of him. The turnaround and the throw quickly to second base. Byrd can't make the play in the air. You can see Ortiz. That's Bird's shot. I guess a bird's eye view of Ortiz right there. And he
wins it by 2.
What were you thinking, though, getting Ortiz at second?
Gosh, I had to make up my mind, either dive or just try to let it drop and then spin and fire. So last second, I knew it wasn't getting there. Pick it up, fire. Hopefully I can get it there in time, and I did.
What were you thinking when you saw Marlon come in and make that play?
Well, I just hoping he was get there, but I knew he wasn't going to be able to right there at the end, and I seen David wasn't about halfway. I knew he didn't have great speed, so I figured he'd come up firing.
National League did it tonight, guys. Back to you.
All right, thank you, and thanks to Marlon Byrd and Jonathan Broxton, part of the winning side as the NL wins it 3-1.
They've never done that before.
No. 3 different teams.
This year's edition being played in Anaheim. Prior to the game, George Steinbrenner honored Derek Jeter, Joe Girardi, and then Derek Jeter's first at-bat.
Now batting for the American League from the New York Yankees, the shortstop, number 2, Derek Jeter. Number 2.
The voice of God, the late, great Bob Shepard, doing the honors. Jeter would go on to walk. He finished 1 for 2 with that walk. Later in the inning, the 1-6-3 double play by Josh Hamilton. Ubaldo Jimenez gets out of the inning. Bottom 4, Josh Johnson getting the help from Ryan Braun. Johnson throws 2 perfect innings for the National League. All right, here's the big blow. Down a run, 2 outs, top 7, bases loaded. Brian McCann of the Braves. Here comes Scott Rowland, Matt Holliday. Then watch Marlon Byrd on his horse. He scores. It's 3-1 National League. Now bottom 7. Runners on the corners. The hometown hero, Torrey Hunter, can't get it done. So, 9th inning. A-Rod warming up, waiting to go in the game. Watch here, John Buck. The single to right, but Big Papi, not the greatest base running. Marlon Byrd hoses him at second. So now, final chance, Ian Kinsler. For some reason, Joe Girardi did not put Alex Rodriguez in the game. And there's your final. National League wins 3-1. Their first All-Star win since 1996.
It felt great. I mean, this is something you dream about. I mean, to be in a situation like that, just to be in the game. I mean, to share a locker room with these guys. I mean, it's, you know, as a kid, this is what you dream about when you play baseball, and it's a moment I'll never forget.
Feels good. Feels real good. I talked to our guys right before the game, and I told them how the importance of having a home field advantage was. I don't know if it helped them or not. You might have to ask them, but I liked the way they played. I liked the way they pitched.
There's a lot of disappointment. I mean, the home field advantage is extremely important. So whoever comes out of the American League is going to have to work a little bit harder. And for the streak to break, I mean, that's disappointing as well. But we have an opportunity to start a new one next year.
So the National League finally gets a win in the All-Star game. Now the American League
next batter, Robinson Cano. He sends it back, but it's going to get the job done.
Got the job done. He grounded out his first time up, took the ball the opposite way, got the sac fly, drove it in, and you look like the American League was going to put the pedal to the metal.
Crawford grounds to short. Look at Hanley.
That ends up being a big play right here, because if he doesn't get him, now we're looking at first and third with Crawford on first. Crawford would probably steal second. Now you look at second and third, and the inning opens up.
Terry and you, Phillips. We go to the seventh, same score, bases loaded, 2 outs. The play of the game, Dan.
There's no question about it. We touched on it about these bullpens were deep. The situation, Matt Thornton, Brian McCann, I think what case of one too many fastballs. McCann looking for a fastball, got it and didn't miss it.
Clears the bases.
Welcome inside Coca-Cola Park in Allentown, Pennsylvania. It's minor league baseball's #1 draw, and they're pulling out all the stunts for the AAA All-Star game here in Allentown, the 3rd largest city in the state of Pennsylvania. We have the International League All-Stars against the Pacific Coast League All-Stars in the 23rd ILPCL All-Star game right here at Coca-Cola Park, and they expect a capacity of 10,000 people here for this Midsummer's Classic. Now, along with my partner, Mitch Williams, I'm Matt Providence saying hello and welcome inside Coca-Cola Park here in the Lehigh Valley. And Mitch, you know, anytime you're a player, no matter what the level, whether you're in the majors or the minor leagues, to be here and be part of all the excitement of being the best in your league, that's got to be an honor.
It absolutely is, and you hear a lot of...
We are very close to getting the first pitch. We'll take a break, and when we get back, it'll be the starting lineups in the first pitch of the AAA All-Star game here on MLB Network.
Hello, fans. This is Pat O'Connor, President of Minor League Baseball. On behalf of our 14 domestic-based leagues and 160 clubs, welcome to another exciting season of Minor League Baseball. The leagues and clubs of Minor League Baseball embrace the opportunity to serve our communities with fun, affordable family entertainment for fans of all ages. So on behalf of the Minor League Baseball family, best wishes for an outstanding 2010 season, and we'll see you at the ballpark.
They're flocking in from everywhere to be here at the AAA All-Star game here in Allentown. There is a West Point parachuter coming on in. A Black Knight is a technical name for what they do here, and this guy's going to try to hit the spot out in center field. He's coming close, and look at that. Bullseye from the U.S. Army. What a way to start with the pageantry of an All-Star game on what's turned out to be a gorgeous night here in the Lehigh Valley, but that was pretty neat, Mitch.
Yeah, he landed closer than a lot of my fastballs I threw in my career, so that was pretty impressive, especially the way the wind is blowing out here tonight.
Well, speaking of the weather, who'd have thought early on today it was raining, it was gray, it was not looking pretty good, but things have greatly cleared up. Look at the blue sky overhead here in eastern Pennsylvania. Your weather conditions 77 degrees, partly cloudy, 5 miles per hour the wind, so not much of a factor tonight, but a comfortable July night when normally it could be very sticky here in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Let's get a look at the Pacific Coast League lineup. Remember, the PCL is the visiting team here as we play in the home of the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. And looking down the way things have gone, and for the last 6 years, we've gone the IL against the PCL. And look at that, we have a 6-6 tie through a dozen ball games.
But, well, in that time you go to the Pacific Coast League, you're starting to deal with places like Las Vegas and Reno, Nevada, where I played in Reno, and the ball flies when you get out there. Here, the air is a little heavier, the humidity is a little high here, the ball's not going to travel quite as well, so if the pitchers keep the ball down in the zone, we should see a low-scoring game.
where we have a pair of manager family-oriented events. You know, sometimes the baseball almost becomes secondary to the promotion aspect, to the entertainment. But you can see here at Coca-Cola Park, it's a brand new facility, only in its third year. In fact, it's the stadium that's gotten the All-Star in the shortest amount of time from its inception, as again this team came into play in 2008. And one of the things that they've done here, the Iron Pigs being run by Chuck Domino and Kurt Landis, a couple of well-respected guys in minor league baseball, is to make sure the kids and the adults, whomever, feel like they come out and have good entertainment regardless of the play on the field.
Well, you have to look at it like this. Baseball has always been considered, in my opinion, a family sport. You look out in the outfield, you see the big grass hill where families can actually come out here and picnic and turn it into a night out for their family. And minor league baseball a lot of times gets overlooked. I like it because you're still seeing baseball at its purest form. These guys are actually trying to get to the big league level. So you're seeing players play their hearts out for the opportunity to play in the big leagues, where you're not seeing a lot of times at the big league level you get these multi-year contracts, and sometimes you'll see guys take days off and not give it all they've got. These guys, you won't see that. These guys are here to try and get to the big leagues. I enjoy watching minor league baseball.
Well, I'll tell you what, you look at the history, and some of the guys we saw a night ago have played in this game. Now, Chase Utley didn't play, of course, due to injury, but he was, of course, selected to be an All-Star. And look, Votto, the future there in Cincinnati at first base. For the Pittsburgh Pirates, the backstop tonight for the right-handed starter, Carlos Torres. And you see the first batter of the game, Brock Bond, who's a switch hitter. He wastes no time. And there's Valleca. One pitch, one out. You got to love the tempo early on of this baseball game, Mitch.
Absolutely. You come into this.
Because sometimes guys, you know, will flirt with it and dabble with it. But if you're a starting pitcher and you go long into games, does that affect it? And we'll see here if this ball is going to leave the yard. Bubba Bell seems to have the beat on it. Out number two. Two pitches there on half power.
Very good break on the ball by Bubba Bell right there. Torres got.
He was sidelined with a broken thumb early in spring training, which inhibited his ability early on in the year. Got sent down, but things seem to be turning around for this power hitter. That one just foul as Andy Tracy, one of the hometown heroes here, a 3-year Iron Pig, was fielding the ball in foul territory. Our first payoff pitch. And there's a second opportunity for Valleca, who comes from the Louisville Bats Reds affiliate. He's up for the challenge. And another 4-3 putout. So Carlos Torres, a 3-up, 3-down inning to the bottom of the first on MLB Network.
The Vero Beach Sports Village has been the premier team building and tournament venue for the country. For more information, visit.
Baseball and team sports are a part of our American legacy, and since 1948, the Vero Beach Sports Village, now proudly operated and preserved by Minor League Baseball, has been the premier team building and tournament venue for the entire country. Now you can experience this championship setting with your team, employees, or tournament by hosting your event at our fully equipped world-class facility with on-premises lodging, recreation, dining, and training. And while you're here, stay, play, and train in the tropical paradise of Indian River County. For more information, visit VBSportsVillage.com.
At that trough area out there, all those drink rails, people not worrying about rain. Instead, the sun, which is a good thing in July. All right, the International League is the home team, and they will come to bat with Bubba Bell of Pawtucket. Chasing, you're watching on high definition back at your house, and you're wondering, well, how do I know what team these guys are on? This is one of the first years ever in an All-Star game you see the guys wearing league uniforms, but you see their affiliate patches on the chest there, on the sleeve there. Right now, Bubba Bell swinging through one of those diamond fastballs, and he might be a diamond in the rough for the Chicago Cubs. Good start to his night.
Well, that's what I like to see. I'm doing if you're a pitcher. And there's a double play ball.
That is tailor-made, isn't it? You see,
doesn't
Barney
get much easier than that.
Able to go 6 unassisted, and we have no score. We're 1 inning in the books here with the 2010 AAA All-Star Game on Major League Baseball Network.
The first pitch, Roy Halladay. Keep an eye on Halladay Soriano, who has 20 strikeouts in 54 at-bats against him. That's Soriano and Halladay. Here's John Miller.
Okay, Carl, and the Wrigley Field faithful will be rooting hard for a much-needed series win against the National League champion Phillies tonight, but they'll be up against it as one of the game's best. Roy Halladay takes them out trying to salvage a series split for the Phillies. We are at jam-packed Wrigley Field, Chicago. ESPN Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell. The Phillies, the champions of the National League again last year, up against the Cubs, the final game of a 4-game series on a hot, muggy night in Chicago.
Yesterday, home runs, driven in 14 runs. He is the guy that makes this offense go. In his last 9 years, he's driven in 100 runs 6 of those 9 years. And when he's healthy, he's not only a good hitter, but he's a good third baseman. Look, Marlon Byrd was the most valuable player this first half of the season for him. But if the Cubs are going to make a run at the Cardinals and the Reds, then Aramis Ramirez is going to have to be the most important player the rest of the way.
All right, and they'll have the left-hander Tom Gorzelani having to contend with the winds, and the winds are blowing out. A hitter's win tonight at Wrigley Field, and we've seen a lot of hitting earlier in this series. In fact, in the first 2 games of this series, there were 9 home runs hit. Ryan Howard hit 3 of them. Derek Lee went deep. Soriano, a lot of guys were going deep, and now the winds are blowing out for Game 4. We are in the friendly confines, Wrigley Field, Chicago, and the Cubs take the field as we are just moments away from Game 4 of this series, the Cubs and the Phillies. Watch this. Was originally drafted out of high school by the crosstown rivals of the Cubs, the White Sox, but instead went to the University of Kansas and then to Trenton Junior College and ended up with the Pittsburgh Pirates. But now a Cub. And he misses off the outside with ball 1 to Shane Victorino.
Shane Victorino has hit 15 home runs, driven in 50 runs, but his on-base percentage is only .317. They want him to act more like a leadoff hitter rather than a fifth-place hitter.
2-0 the count to him. Well, the lament of the Phillies right now, nobody really is hitting well for average. And Charlie Manuel, before the game, was talking about his lineup, and he said, hey, we got a lot of guys trying to hit the long ball all the time.
Right. Like that.
Smashed, but very much foul deep down the left field line. A little over halfway through the season. But that batting average only .254, .318 on base. That one hangs, and right to Soriano. 1 away. The Cubs back of Gorzelani with Soriano, Bird, and rookie Tyler Colvin around the outfield.
His 19 starts, he's gone 7 innings or more. He's had 6 games where he didn't give up a run in the start.
And that first pitch sinker just a little bit low to Tyler Colvin from Roy Halladay. Colvin hitting .262, 12 home runs, 32 batted in. Over Halladay's head, and it's a base hit for Tyler Colvin as Valdez tried to barehand it.
I think shortstop's the toughest position to learn to play well in the big leagues.
That's a base hit to center field, right through the middle. Stopping at second is Colvin, and the Cubs are coming right after Roy Halladay as the big hitters come up now with 2 men on and nobody out.
Well, Halladay's trying to establish his sinking fastball. One thing I really enjoyed was
all fastballs. There is the breaking ball.
He went right to it, and it was a good one. The first one, he snapped it right off. Roy Halladay posts a 0 for the Phillies.
Second inning, Jason Worth coming up. Eastern, the Phillies and the Cardinals from St. Louis. And then on Wednesday Night Baseball, it'll be Steven Strasburg due as the Nationals take on the Cincinnati Reds on Wednesday Night Baseball at 7 Eastern. Tomorrow night
is a mystery because while he's in the windup, he's mainly going to concentrate and use his fastballs, his 2-seamer and the 4-seamer. But when people get on, he uses the rest of his repertoire.
That's into right field. The wind blowing out. That ball is a home run. The 11th home run of the year for Giovanni Soto to put The Cubs ahead 2-0. Soto not able to handle a throw that could have ended yesterday's game with the Cubs victory. And he turns it around today and hits an opposite field homer against Roy Halladay, no less.
ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, presented by Taco Bell, is brought to you by the powerfully simple pen camera.
Wrigley Field, the home of the Cubs. It was not actually built for the Cubs. There was a third major league back just before the outbreak of World War I, the Federal League, and this was built. It was called Beekman Park, the home of the Federal League team here in Chicago. Then that league disbanded. The Cubs said, you know, that's a much better park than the one we're using. Let's move over there.
Callaspo was traded.
Yes.
A couple hours ago, the Angels and the Royals pulled off the trade. So there's CeCe, all of them. And you know what? This guy, I'll tell you, he is truly amazing. We call him a horse. Is our game.
And welcome to MLB Network's Thursday Night Baseball, driven by Chevrolet. Tonight we're at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, where the Yankees are set to play host to the Kansas City Royals in high definition here on MLB Network. Here's a glance at tonight's Holiday Inn standings at game time. In the AL East, the Yankees setting the pace, 2.5 better than the Rays, 7 in the Central. The Royals' drive to the future includes a 41-53 record this year, 11.
A mismatch based on the stats. Bruce has done a nice job for Kansas City filling in where they've had a couple starters go down, and he has.
Next. And welcome back to Yankee Stadium. Back alongside John Smoltz, Matt Vasgersian. Among the things we're watching tonight, Alex Rodriguez has sent up the all-time home run list. He is only 2 home runs shy of getting the number 600, considered hallowed ground in the game, where just 6 players have reached that level in Major League Baseball history. So Alex Rodriguez, who has had good success against tonight's Kansas City starter Bruce Chen, featured in the Yankee lineup. We'll be talking about that when we flip the card and go to the bottom half of the first. But first, let's take a look at Kansas City's lineup, brought to you by Verizon. 2005 All-Star Scott Podsednik will lead it off, followed by 3-time All-Star catcher Jason Kendall. David DeHace, since he took over, this is his 60th game as Royals skipper, trying to get his own Royals record to 500, 29-30. And Scotty Pods is caught looking.
One of the things that you got our guys down there, to your point, they're 13th. You know, as you see right there in home runs, and that's not going to cut it if you're going to try to have a chance to win night in and night out.
Little jam shot that's going to fall in.
But that's what you're going to see out of the Kansas City Royals. Not every hit like that, but that's Jason Kendall. Stay inside the ball. He's not going to let the fastball beat him from the standpoint of swing and misses. He's not going to get too aggressive. He's going to drive pitchers crazy. You look.
Bathia working hard here, considering he's only 3 batters into the night. And there's a fly ball lifted to right for Nick Swisher. And 2 gone. Let's take a look at the rest of the New York defense behind CeCe Sabathia here tonight. Alex Rodriguez and Derek Jeter on the left side of the infield. Robinson Cano and Mark Teixeira on the right side. The Yankee infield has been as tight as anyone's in the American League this year. The outfield this evening, Gardner, Granderson, and Swisher.
That's not one you really want to be known for, and you got to get on the guy that's in front of you, I guess, because he's contributing it.
Kendall runs, and look how that works out for Kansas City, right past Cano, who was breaking to cover the bag. So runners at the corners for the Royals with 2 gone in the first. Is an exceptionally high run scoring total. Would you take a look at Guillen's career frustrations against CeCe Sabathia? Into the corner, and that's going to drive in a run. The Yankees yield in the first as Jose Guillen has doubled home Jason Kendall to make it 1-0 Kansas City. The trade of Alberto Callaspo announced before the game today. Callaspo going to Anaheim. Betemit was called into duty, and Betemit has driven in a run, perhaps 2. Guillen being waved around. Betemit on his way to second, where he's out at the bag. The second run does not score. Home plate umpire Eric Cooper waving off the run that would have scored with Jose Guillen, saying the out at the bag happened before. It is a 2-run first for the Royals. Plenty of action as we're underway in the Bronx. Chen last worked against the Oakland A's on the 17th and did not get a decision in a 6-5 Oakland victory. Gave up 4 runs over 5 2/3 that night. And here's his 1-2 home to Jeter. Just pokes it into right field, smothered by Aviles, but the throw will not be in time. But Mike Aviles did a wonderful job just to put the glove on that ball. Scored it as an infield single, however, for Derek Jeter. But John, let's take a look at the play that ended the top of the first. As you can see, Jose Guillen in about the 3rd gear, and the out at second happening before Guillen touched the plate. Thus that second run did not score.
Yeah, when things aren't going well, stuff like this happens, and Ned Yost will not be happy at all. The right call was made, a very difficult call for the umpires as they're looking at 2 plays. Might have been safe at second, but the ball
throughout his career, and he has struggled in New York. 3-1 to Swisher, a high fly ball to left as Podsednik camps under it. And there is one away here in the home first. Let's take a look at the rest of the Yankees Verizon starting lineup tonight against Bruce Chen after Swisher. Fellow switch hitter Mark Teixeira heating up of late, bats 3rd. Alex Rodriguez, Robinson Cano, an MVP candidate, batting 5th. Posada.
Bruce primarily used his big hook, a changeup, an occasional fastball, and now he seems to be doing a little bit more with the angles of his pitches.
Teixeira lines to left. Podsednik on the move as it rattles around in the corner. Jeter on his way to 3rd. Teixeira to 2nd. Make him 8 for 12 lifetime against Bruce Chen. My goodness. On the all-time home run list, 15 this year, 598 in his career. On the first pitch to him here, a little flare down the line. That's a fair ball as it bounds into the stands. It'll be a ground rule double credited to Alex Rodriguez, and it puts the Yankees on the board here in the first. Balls and a strike on Mike Aviles. And a base hit to right. As we talked about before the game, the Royals pulling off a trade with the Anaheim Angels. And this is how Mike Aviles, Willie Bloomquist, and Billy Butler learned of the deal.
What? Traded? Really? To where? How do you know? That's what they said? Really? BP just told me, he goes, hey, something's happening. I don't know. He's like, Betemit's playing 3rd now. Kyle went in. First thing I said, I was like, he get traded? Where'd he get traded to? It's starting.
And I thought something was wrong at home.
Base hit for Willie Bloomquist. That's 5 hits for the Royals, just an inning plus into the night for CC Sabathia.
Yeah, so to really stick out like a sore thumb, and that one did in the first inning.
Podsednik bounces it up the middle, past Jeter on through. The Royals will reclaim the lead on a seeing eye RBI single by Scott Podsednik.
That will extend his hitting streak to 9 games now, as he is
just how tightly contested the Royals-Yankees rivalry used to be. These 2 clubs represented the class of the league some years back. Runners go. Posada's throw down to 3rd is not in time to get Bloomquist. Well, your old third base coach just straight lied to us. We asked him before the game, you feel any added urgency to try to create with a team that doesn't swing the bat consistently in a young lineup? No, we don't like to hit and run. We're not going to do a lot of double stealing. And here they are in the 2nd inning tonight, and they execute it perfectly.
Taking advantage of numbers.
Oh, not to worry. Runners in scoring position. CC strikes out Kendall, and DeJesus only one in the KC second.
It up a little bit. So each organization, I'm sure, felt like if we make a change here or we do this, he could do that. He's just got a more consistent delivery, which has given him a lot more success.
That slap to the shortstop hole back towards there. Gardner can flat fly, but he's out by a half a step on a very close play at first. A 1-2-3 second for.
Forget cable. Switch to DirecTV and get 5 months free.
As part of the Pepsi Refresh Project, 15 big league teams are competing for a special $200,000 Pepsi Refresh grant that will be voted on by the public. You can support your team and vote at MLB and Bet Meet against CC Sabathia through 2. It's been a lot of royal knocks. Butler grounds out to open this third. The scoring. Some will see the Braves and Marlins. That's tomorrow, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on MLB Network. Derek Jeter opens the home third with a long drive to right center field. DeJesus is back, and he can't finish with the catch. DeJesus is hurt. Jeter being waved around to score. And inside the park, home run for Derek Jeter. Santa Maria. And meanwhile, David DeJesus still in noticeable discomfort in center as we take a look at what happened on the wall again.
Looks like he pinches that wrist, and that's the reason the ball couldn't stay in the glove. You hope that it's nothing more than just he bends it back right here as he's got the ball in the glove. It's caught. And then there's no way for him to squeeze and hold on, and you've got to be able to carry the ball all the way to the ground and get up and make an athletic play. But you can see he knows something is not right as he's coming right off. Jeter never stopped.
So David DeJesus.
So 2 catchers and a manager got thrown out in the same game. It was not a
all arguing on your behalf.
Yeah.
Timms with a shot to third, and very casually Wilson Betemit plucks it off the dirt to retire the side. One on the inside the park home run, the second in Derek Jeter's career, and this one's back to even, all tied 3-3.
Fun tonight to see what Dominic Brown can do here as he starts his major league career. He has all kinds of tools. I mean, everybody you talk to, 5-tool player. You see him hit a home run to center field there. Watching him in batting practice tonight, you know, he's a guy that was working on a lot of things. Here he hits this ball the other way. That's kind of a Ryan Howard type of home run, like the one he hit last night. He can throw, he can run. He's got it all together. He probably doesn't want to do a whole lot of that stuff in the big leagues for a while, but this guy has tremendous potential. A 20th round pick because he dropped way down because everybody thought he was going to go to Miami and play wideout down there in college. See what he did this year, combined AA and AAA at Reading and Lehigh Valley. It's a fun day, you know, when you bring a guy up. Now, it's a shame that Shane had to get hurt because Shane Victorino is a heck of a player. But once he got hurt last night, they just decided they were going to give Dominic Brown a shot. You had a feeling he was going to be here this year at some time, but it wouldn't have been if Shane hadn't gotten hurt.
So he'll start in right field tonight. He'll bat in the number 6 spot. Jason Worth, meanwhile, will take over the responsibilities of being the Phillies' everyday center fielder. The other part of the story tonight, Roy Halladay gets the start for the Phillies. He'll be opposed by right-hander Edwin Jackson. Both of these guys have thrown no-hitters here in 2010. The compliment for Dominic Brown is the big piece. Ryan Howard, he homered last night, and Jason Worth. We'll see if the offense can continue this 6-game winning streak for the Phils when we return. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Toyota. There are many reasons to buy a Toyota, and now's the perfect time to get yours during Toyota's National Clearance Event. My Southwest Airlines. Want to see what a real airline is like? Go to Southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. Buy Xfinity. It's TV, phone, and internet reinvented from Comcast. Buy Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. And buy Independence Blue Cross. We're here for you every step of the way. Dominic Brown has played in 3 very nice stadiums this year. Bright House Networks Field down in Florida during spring training, out in Reading as well, and up in Lehigh Valley. But, well, nothing's going to be able to top this. He has a huge smile on his face as he goes out to right field. The debut of Dominic Brown at the cost of Shane Victorino, who is on the disabled list. And Dominic will take his place in right field. And Charlie Manuel said against righties, he will play. Against lefties, well, he may bide his time and mix and match with his outfielders. But we shall see. It's his major league debut. And let's take a look at the Arizona Diamondbacks lineup, brought to you by X-Backs
a couple times. In fact, Mark Grace, great player for them, and the Cubs told us a little while ago that he faced him a few years ago, and that helped him retire. On keys of the game. Major league debut of Dominic Brown, in case you haven't heard. And we'll see if Doc can keep that streak alive and keep pitching well in this ballpark.
It's the end of the model year, and Nissan's laying it all on the line. Nissan's bottom line sales event going on now. Well, here we go. Dominic Brown has a good view of the first pitch of this game. It's a fastball over at the knees, and it's no balls and 1 strike. Stephen Drew leads it off for the Diamondbacks. They've moved Chris Young down to the 3-hole with Justin Upton out of the lineup. And Placido Polanco will make the traditional 4-1 putout.
This fouls it off.
On the hands, a looper towards second. Caught out of the air by Polanco. And there are 2 outs.
That's what.
And the first matchup of 2 pitchers who have thrown no-hitters in the same season since '91.
Olson Alvarez, the left-hander for the White Sox, and Nolan Ryan.
There's a fly ball to right center field. Jason Worth will give way to Dominic Brown. First chance of the career of Dominic Brown, and it's an easy catch into the alleyway. And the Diamondbacks are retired in order. We go to the bottom of the first. What could Brown do for you? Well, we'll have to find out. Well, Dan Baker just introduced Dominic Brown for the first time. And what a reaction. Boy, this must give you chills if you're a ball player.
Really?
Dominic Brown overall this year was hitting .327 with 20 homers and 68 RBIs.
It's not like people hadn't heard about him.
And he takes a fastball up high. It's 1-0.
Watch him in BP at 5 rounds. He was hitting everything the other way early. Then he pulled. And his last round, it was like he said, all right, let's try this. Hit one off the facing of the upper deck, the second deck. Hit one about 6 rows into the second deck.
Well, he's worked himself ahead, 1-0. Phillies first saw Dominic Brown on more of a consistent basis this past spring. And he was 10 for 24 during spring training with 2 homers and 8 RBIs.
Well, right now, all he's trying to do is hit a ground ball to second. Just pull the ball and see if the Phillies can get an early lead for Roy Halladay.
In the air to right field. That's pretty well hit. Parra looks up, and that one is off the top of the wall. The first major league hit for Dominic Brown is going to be an RBI double. Welcome to Philadelphia.
That's cool.
Kind of breaking ball. The roller towards shortstop. That'll get the run home. And Valdez is retired at first. It's 2-0 Phillies. Brown crosses the plate easily. And he's getting a nice ovation as he goes back to the dugout. Up to second went Carlos Ruiz.
And so he has a hit, an RBI, and a run scored in his first major league plate appearance.
Pretty nice, yeah.
Hill Nissan. Welcome to The Rise. I'm Amy Fadul. Well, it was a case of good news, bad news for the Phillies and their fans. The bad news, Shane Victorino placed on the 15-day disabled list with an oblique strain. But the good news, the continuous cries for top prospect Dominic Brown were finally answered. Brown called up from AAA Lehigh Valley and was like a kid in a candy store before his big league debut.
Just going out here fresh start. I haven't did anything yet. You know, I say that all the time, man. The prospect thing, that's all garbage, man. Until you get here, those numbers don't mean anything. So I'm just coming out here fresh, and you know, I really don't know what to expect. I've never been here.
I think that expectations, you know, from everybody. I've had so many expectations every year. I remember after my first year, I'd walk down the street and people were like, "Oh, right, I need to hit 70 home runs or do this or do that." And it's like, you know, the only expectations you really need to go out there and fulfill are the ones that you set for yourself. Because if you try to fulfill everybody else's expectations, and you lose sight of you, and you lose sight of, you know, how your game goes. So, I mean, the only thing he needs to do is just go out there, play his game, and just worry about the expectations he has for himself and not everybody else.
Expectations high, and he lived up to them. Dominic Brown heading out to right field in his major league debut. Very nice reaction from the crowd. Top of the first, Roy Halladay on the mound gets Chris Young to sky to right, and Brown. First big league play, and it's an out. Halladay perfect through the first 3 innings. Bottom second, Brown receiving a standing ovation before his first at-bat, and he quickly gave the fans much more to cheer about.
For Roy Halladay.
In the air to right field, that's pretty well hit. Parr looks up, and that one is off the top of the wall. The first major league hit for Dominic Brown is going to be an RBI double. Welcome to Philadelphia.
How about that? Phillies up 1-0 as Brown delivers in his first big league at-bat. Later score, 2 batters later, make it 2-zip. Top fourth, Adam LaRoche lines one off Halladay. Doesn't hurt him. Ball ricochets to third. Greg Dobbs gets the out at first. Halladay stay in the game. He's tough. Bottom 6, Brown smokes this single to right field. His father was in attendance last night, and he certainly liked what he saw. Brown 2 for 3, 2 RBI, and 2 runs scored in his debut. Next batter after that, Carlos Ruiz down the left field line, into the corner. Jason Worth comes on in. Brown on his horse scores all the way from first, standing up. Phil's up 4-0. Top of the 9th. Halladay still in. Of course he is. Gets Mark Reynolds to fly out to left. But Doc's scoreless inning streak at home ends at 33 2/3. You know what? Still goes the distance. Phil's beat up on the Diamondbacks 7-1. Our Leslie Goodell has
in the park on Wednesday night. Had never even played here before.
Oh yeah, I hear him, but it sounds like it's so far away, you know. But yeah, of course I hear him. When you have 45 standing up and clapping, so of course I hear him.
I think they got a bobblehead coming out tomorrow.
During this stretch.
Yeah, there's no sense moaning and groaning about it either. It's what it is, and go out there and try your best and win some games.
3-2 the count to Francisco. Nobody out here in the top of the second. In the air to left field. That's pretty well hit. Moving back is Morrison. No chance of this one. It is gone. A home run for Ben Francisco. A towering shot that just went to the left of the billboards in left field, and the Phillies lead it 1-0.
One of the guys on the DL, Chase Utley, right there, and you know, Ben Francisco can hit the ball out of the ballpark. That was off speed too. It looked like either breaking ball or changeup. He loves to hit fastballs, does Ben Francisco, but they threw him something 3-2. That looked like a changeup grip. It was. It was a changeup, a 3-2 changeup, and he hit it out of the ballpark.
And Rogers Horos of Lansdale, Pennsylvania, you've just won $200. Compliments of the McDonald's home run payoff, and just like that, Carlos Ruiz goes yard. Back-to-back home runs for the Phillies, and they lead it 2-0. The Florida Marlins staff, which has allowed the least amount of home runs this year, they allow 2 to kick off the top of the second.
Yeah, that one didn't look like it was high enough at first.
I didn't think so either.
He knew he had really crushed it. It was a line smack.
Upon entering Citizens Bank Park. Ladies and gentlemen, 32 years ago, the Phillies began a tradition of honoring the greatest players in our history with the Wall of Fame. The yearly process starts with fan balloting during spring training on Phillies.com and concludes with tonight's festivities. Please turn your attention to Fanavision for a video introduction of the Wall of Famers who have returned for tonight's festivities. Through technology and the Phillies video archives, you will hear a familiar voice.
26 in a row. Striking out. A perfect game for Jim Bunning. Here come his teammates. Oh, what a happy scene for the Phils and Jim Bunning.
The starting and winning pitcher on that very first game played at Veterans Stadium, now United States Senator from Kentucky, Hall of Famer, number 14, Gentleman Jim Bunning. The Phillies was 1972. The 1972 Phillies team that year won 59 games. He won 27 of them, winning his first of 4 Cy Young Awards. Hall of Famer Steve Lefty Carlton. He was the greatest third baseman ever to play the game. Would you welcome, please, Hall of Famer Michael Jack Schmidt. In 1964, he was named the National League Rookie of the Year. In the city of brotherly love, he hit some of the longest home runs ever seen here. Welcome, please, Dick Allen. Veterans Stadium. In fact, he hit one way into the upper deck, and that's how I got out of here. He's aired every game at Bull's Barbecue. Welcome, please, Greg the Bull Luzinski. Covered more ground in center field than this 2001 inductee, the Secretary of Defense, Gary Maddox. To wear a Phillies uniform. He played more games than anyone else for the Phillies at second base. Welcome, please, TT, Tony Taylor. Inducted into the Phillies Wall of Fame. He was a three-time All-Star. Welcome, please, Bob Boone. Of the 1980 World Champion Phillies. Welcome, please, Dallas Green.
Ladies and gentlemen, his 329 career victories are 11th in Major League Baseball history. His 4,136 strikeouts are 4th all-time. Here to present this year's inductee with his Wall of Fame jersey is the greatest pitcher in Phillies history. Number 32, Steve Carlton.
My favorite teammate and the last catcher with me here in the Philadelphia is Darren Daulton. Congratulations, Darren. Welcome, Darren.
Tonight is one of Darren's sons, Zach. Fans, please join the countdown for Zach on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, Darren, we also have a miniature version of your plaque. And making the presentation are some of your 1993 National League Championship teammates, Tommy Green, Kevin Stocker, Ricky Jordan, Dave Hollins, Jim Eisenreich, and John Kruk. The 1993 National League champions, Tommy Green, Kevin Stocker, Ricky Jordan, Dave Hollins, Jim Eisenreich, and John Kruk. Ladies and gentlemen, the Phillies 2010 Wall of Fame inductee, number 10, catcher, Darren Daulton.
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it. Have become a fan. Heck, for 10 years it was Seinfeld from 7 to 8, guaranteed. What I want to say tonight is I take enormous pride in being accepted on this Wall of Fame, and take great pride in the organization and the city of Philadelphia and being able to represent us as one. And it's almost like I can no longer call you fans. We've been through too much together, so I'm going to start calling you family. And everybody's invited Sunday over to my place to eat. So thank you very much.
Congratulations, Darren, the newest member of the Phillies Wall of Fame, Darren Daulton.
So there you have it, a very special night down there at the ballpark. Darren Daulton, one of the great players in Phillies history, one of the great leaders, no doubt about it, in Phillies history, getting his chance to go around and say thanks to the fans and kind of soak it all in one last time at Citizens Bank Park as he becomes the newest member of the Phillies Wall of Fame. And
Daulton last night by adding Dutch to the Wall of Fame, and that story is coming up. Hi, I'm Ron Burke. Thanks for joining us. Remember back in late May, Phillies played in New York and the Mets held them scoreless in all 3 games? Well, times sure have changed since then. As forgettable as that series was, the 8th inning last night was memorable. And their better late than never rally gave the Phillies a boost on a weekend that could see them finally take over first place in the National League East. As for Daulton, a special night for him. The crowd on hand able to honor. Remember that 93 World Series team. Will have more in the pregame ceremony for Dutch coming up later here on The Rise. Now let's look at Charlie Manuel's starting lineup. In the 4th spot, Mike Sweeney playing in front of the home crowd for the first time. Of course, playing in Ryan Howard's regular spot as the cleanup man. Other notes, Ben Francisco in right. No Dominic Brown, but the left-hander going in Jonathan Neese. Let's go bottom 1. Ibanez at second. Polanco at the plate. And this one down the left field line. That's fair. No doubt about that one. Unlike Thursday night in Florida, Ibanez scores the game's first run, so the Phillies strike first. But the Mets do tie this game as we move to the 3rd. And in the top of the 4th, Josh Tolley going up the middle just past the dive of Wilson Valdez. That brings home the go-ahead run for the Mets. They lead 2-1. Moving on to the 7th, the Phillies, I don't like seeing this. Blanton tries to play the ball with his bare hand, turns into an infield hit for Jeff Francoeur. Blanton is fine. That's a good thing. Could have been messy after throwing some warm-up pitches. He does finish that 7th inning. He was solid for the Phillies. Sweeney now in the top of the 8th, diving stop with a Beltran grounder to Chad Durbin, covering the first. They get the out there. And right-hander Bobby Parnell now in for the Mets in the 8th inning. Charlie Manuel staying with Francisco instead of using Dominic Brown as a pinch hitter. Good move. It pays off. Francisco brings home Sweeney. The Phillies have tied it. Next batter is Ruiz, who's had such a huge series in Florida. So Chooch is clutch. Does that mean we should call him Klooch? Comes through again. Jason Worth coming home. Phillies retake the lead. It's 3-2. It's a big 8th inning for the Phillies. That's Sweeney pounding one. He has a pair of hits in the inning, including this RBI single to bring in Ross Glow. The Phillies score 6 times in the 8th. They snatch a 7-2 lead. Top 9, J.C. Romero brought in to get the final out, except Mike Hessman has other ideas. The pinch hit 3-run home run. You can't spell Hessman without He-Man. And the Phillies lead is now down to 2 runs at 7-5. In comes Brad Lidge. He gets Jesus Feliciano looking at the slider, and the Phillies hold off the Mets and win it 7-5. Here's Leslie.
Of 08. Melvin Mora pulls one to third. Hessman to second for one. Tejada to first. Double play, and the ball game is over. Johan Santana with a 4-hit shutout. His 2nd shutout of the season, the 8th of his career. Another brilliant effort by Johan Santana as the Mets take the rubber game of the series with the Rockies 4-0.
2 lead in the top of the 7th. With 1 out as we go inside the park live, David Ortiz with 1 on, even his outs, and that's when you kind of know a guy is swinging the bat well, even though he got under it. Even his outs look pretty good.
You know, he had a hard time the first 4.5, 5 weeks of the season catching up to any fastball, 92 and above. Now he's turning on the good fastball, taking the break.
You are going to get bonus coverage of this game, bonus baseball on MLB tonight. What that means is we kind of just let you enjoy the game for a couple of innings. We lay out, and it's just the local broadcast and you on your couch. Really a beautiful thing. Right now, it's 4-2 Red Sox in the 7th inning, 2 outs. Beltre at the plate, another ball, so the count runs even, and there's 1 on. John Lackey so far in this game, gentlemen, 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 4 Ks. He gets the job done. He's not exactly as dominant as maybe people in Boston thought they were going to get, Rex. You covered this guy for a lot of years in Anaheim. ERA at 4.54, but that's not what the upper brass of the Red Sox were expecting when they got him. He's a bulldog inning eater, right?
And he's a leader. He's a leader. Now, your starting pitchers aren't going to lead the whole entire team. That comes from a position player. But you do have a leader of the pitching staff. There's 10, 11 pitchers on your staff. And he was the bulldog for the Angels. They're missing that leadership this year. Although Weaver is picking up as far as the Angels goes, Big John Lackey, he has the intestinal fortitude. There's other words we can use in the game, but we can't use on the air. But he's got, what it takes to lead. He's tough.
Portions of today's game brought to you by Miller Lite. Triple hops brewed for great Pilsner taste. Miller Lite is always tasting great and for sure less filling. Down low and inside on the corner, and it's 2 strikes and nothing. Two strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded, 2-0 Milwaukee. And the pitch. That's low and in, and it's 1-2. Now the right-hander sets again and delivers way outside, and it got by John Hester, and here's McGee scoring. And it's 3-0. That started with a 1-out double by Corey Hart. Braun struck out for the 2nd out. He walked fielder, McGee singled, Counsell singled. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Wolf strikes out swinging, and the inning is finally over. But the Brewers bat 9 men, and at the end of 1 complete with Brewers Radio presented by Kohl's.
Guys, what a treat listening to a Hall of Famer, Bob Uecker. I'm sure you've got great.
Oh, many years. I played with the Brewers from 86 to 92, and he was a treat. I'll tell you what, that was at the height of the Miller Lite commercials. Hey, buddy, the front row, sitting up in the 3rd deck. And when we would pull into Yankee Stadium, Robin Yount, Paul Mauter could walk off the bus. The minute you walked on, the place went nuts.
Oh, listening to him is just an absolute treat here on MLB.
Saltalamacchia. Base hit to right field. This ball will go all the way to the wall. Around first and headed for second is Saltalamacchia. The head first slide, and he delivers a 2-out double. 2 hits this afternoon in his only at bat. Drives this ball to center field. Vernon Wells is not going to get it. Saltalamacchia comes around third, scores. McDonald thinking about 3, and he will have it. A stand-up triple for Darnell McDonald. He drives in a big run, that 5th run of the ball game.
Yeah, it certainly is a big run.
Breaking ball popped into right field. J.D. Drew has had a busy day.
Daniel Bard is up and throwing, and he is ready. That run in the top of this inning, I think, afforded the luxury of Terry Francona to squeeze a few more pitches out of John Lackey.
And Bard, no reason. Bounce to shortstop. Lowry on the run, makes a good throw. Good inning for John Lackey, a 1-2-3 8th inning. He is in the driver's seat. His ball club leads by 3. He's in the 5th inning against Brad Mills. Gets a breaking ball on the outside part of the plate and hits it into the Red Sox bullpen. Number 25 on the season for the Red Sox DH.
Yet he hasn't pitched in 6 days. So you can see there's a little bit of a rust factor working right now for Kevin Gray. Hasn't had the pinpoint control that we've seen from him.
There goes Lowry at first. The ball is fouled by Ortiz. Lowry was on the move with the pitch. He has a steal in today's game. He was the trail runner when Ellsbury stole 3rd. They pulled off the double steal back into 3rd. So it'll be another full count pitch to David Ortiz. 1 out here in the 9th. Red Sox up by 3. There goes Lowry. Swinging a drive left field. Travis Snyder on the run, on the track. Has room, makes the catch. Lowry retreats to first base. Ball carried a long way up where the fastball.
Just a little bit of late movement on the outer half to the righties.
Swinging a drive to left field. Bautista has just gone deep. Home run number 36 for Jose Bautista.
You know, this whole game, John Lackey has kept the ball away from Bautista. Struck him out first time up, walked, and then the double play, but everything was away.
But Jonathan Papelbon has never blown a save to the Blue Jays. Vernon Wells to right field. J.D. Drew over. He won't get it. Hits at the base of the wall. Wells around first, headed for second. It's a lead. Double for Vernon Wells. That'll bring the tying run to the plate against Papelbon.
Not wasting it.
Hit on the ground through there, in the base, in the field. Vernon Wells around third. He'll score. It's a one-run game. Adam Lynn hit a good pitch. Looked like a splitter right back over the mountain. There goes Wise. Pitch down and away. Throw from Saltalamacchia, not in time. Stolen base, Dwayne Wise. Ball game, and Bautista got it started with the home run. Wells doubled, and then Lynn drives him in. Aaron Hill has a chance to tie it up here with nobody out. Right back to Papelbon. Hill going to first. He's safe. Line drive hit Papelbon. After Wise, the pinch runner, represents the tying run at third. Just 90 feet away. Hill, the infield single at first. Nothing doing on the fake to third. Look to first.
You have to be almost perfect to pull off a double steal in this situation. You got a huge hole on the right side if you keep that runner at first base. Look at all the room that you can squib one through.
2 balls and a strike. Second, he's headed to third. He will stop there. Encarnacion with the game-tying double.
Played perfectly by Darnell McDonald, or this game is over. The ball hit hard by Encarnacion. Keeps it between Beltre and the bag down the left field line. And when it ricochets off that short wall down the left field line, it comes right to McDonald. If that could have gotten into the corner, this game is over. McDonald plays it perfectly, and he has to hold Aaron Hill at third base. You can't score him there.
Encarnacion delivers. The pinch hitter Overbay will be intentionally walked. And Jonathan Papelbon, for the first time in his career, will be charged with a blown save against the Blue Jays.
To try and go double play around the horn, they have to come home to first. with that good speed that Lewis has.
Bringing a fly ball to center. Ellsbury, medium, deep to tag at third. Aaron Hill headed for home. The Blue Jays win it. Fred Lewis delivers the sac fly in the bottom of the ninth inning with 1 out. The Blue Jays come back against Lackey, Papelbon, and Bard to win the finale of this game, scoring 4 in the bottom of the ninth.
Daniel Bard, the big flamethrower out of the bullpen. You knew Fred Lewis was going to get a fastball at some point. He holds up on the first one and then bangs it deep enough for a sacrifice fly. The Blue Jays pick up their first walk-off win since June 5th. That was against the Yankees, and how sweet is that to snatch.
His career numbers against the Phillies. That's the regular season. Now the National League Championship Series, you saw the numbers were heavily to the side of the Phillies, and this is what happened the last time we saw Jonathan Broxton.
Looked like we're going to go back to Los Angeles for sure. Pitch was middle into Jimmy Rollins. He shot it right in a perfect place. The 2 runs scored, and the Phillies beat the Dodgers, and then of course went on to win the next night and go to the World Series again. And the Dodgers looked like they were going to be able to send the game back to their home ballpark, and nobody wanted to go there. There was still 1 more game in Philadelphia, of course, and then 2 remaining out there, and they got it over in 5.
It was explosive that night here in Philadelphia. Let's see if it can be explosive again.
They've gotten him 2 years in a row in the Game 4. The year before, of course, was Matt Stairs.
Polanco leads it off, and he takes a fastball in. 1 ball and no strikes.
I think Broxton just has not been himself. You know that his fastball doesn't have the same velocity. His slider doesn't have the same bite. That one was 96.
First time he's worked in this series.
Well, this guy, a lot of years, lights out. When he would come in, you know, he would just throw so hard and then mix in a slider. And then the Phillies got him in the playoffs.
He says that the playoffs from 2 years ago wasn't in his head last year.
Oh,
and that got him. Polanco's aboard. He's hit by a pitch.
Luckily, it just grazed him.
Even the 2 in the 7th.
Even the 2 in the 7th, right, on Kemp's homer.
2-0. Tying run is coming to the plate.
You kidding me? He threw him a 3-2 slider. Wow. Unbelievable.
Joe's going to come out.
Torrey's coming out to talk to him himself right now. Yeah, great at bat, as you say, Tom, by Sweeney, but a 3-2 slider, 3-run lead. Man, in the 90, and you've got a 97 fastball working. I get that.
It's a 9-pitch at bat. He just asked him, do you trust your stuff?
Yeah, because
3-1 to Jason Worth. He thinks it's all him, and maybe it is. Ball 4, the bases are loaded. How about this inning?
I think the first strike when he really needed one.
Chopper toward third. Right between the 5-hole. 1-run scores. Here comes Sweeney. How about that? It's a 1-run game.
That's a double play ball. Get 1 RBI on it. A double play ball. Wow.
How about this game? Earlier, he makes an unbelievable play in the 8th inning. And then 28 come from behind victories for the Phillies. Trying to make it one big number 29.
Pinching him in the outfield. Kemp pretty much straight away.
In the air to left center field, toward the alleyway. This one's going to be tied. It's off the top of the wall. The Phillies may win it. Francisco's right behind Worth. Carlos Ruiz, a 2-run walk-off double. How about that?
Johnny Bench. He said it. Unbelievable. That is the most amazing thing you'll ever see. They win this game on one hit.
One of the most incredible come-from-behind victories that this Phillies ball club, with all of their success, has seen in the regular season under Charlie Manuel.
What are they going to do? They're looking for some kind of ground rule double, it looks like. But that didn't get stuck out there or anything.
Nope. A fan didn't interfere with it either. Unbelievable what has happened here at Citizens Bank Park over the last 2 innings. Down 9-2. The Phillies win it 10-9.
And he gets beaten on a slider. And Carlos nails that thing. Look at the bench. They know this ball is in the alley. And it's got a chance to do some major. Here it comes. Broxton just gave up on his fastball. Here's the slider. Yeah.
It worked, he says.
That's amazing. Just amazing what Carlos Ruiz does to these guys. They're right there. You know, they were trying to get a fan interference, but that ball hit right on the top of the padding out there.
He crushed it.
He crushed it, and both base runners did a very good job. And here they wind up at third base and Carlos at second. Carlos wanted to make sure that what he just saw, he thinks he saw, that both those runs had scored. And that's our W.B. Mason delivery of the game. That is one of the greatest comebacks I've ever seen.
Greatest comebacks you can see here at this ballpark. The Phillies' largest deficit to come back from was 6. That was back on the 9th of July against Cincinnati of this year. Well, with all this happening, the Phillies are now 14 games over 500. Danny Baez the win. He's 3-3. How about Baez, though? He shut down top of the 9th when the bullpen wasn't really able to shut anybody down tonight.
Right, and you know, you had a 3-run. You're still down by 3 runs, but it's a great point. You know, if you give up more there, who knows? Yeah, he did a great job by pitching a scoreless inning, and then they get one hit, and win the ball game. That was just so neat.
Phillies win it by a final of 10-9. They score 8 runs in the last 2 innings of tonight's ball game. Our next telecast will be tomorrow in New York at 7 o'clock on Comcast Sportsnet. Producer of Phillies Baseball is Jeff Halleckman. John DeSangro is the associate producer, and our director has been J.R. Aquila. Now for Chris Wheeler, Gary Matthews, and our entire crew, I'm Tom McCarthy. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for hanging in there. The Phils win it with 8 runs in the last couple of innings. Now stay tuned for my PHL 17 News.
But they fight back in the bottom of the 8th. Ben Francisco doubling here. Jason Worth will score from second to make it 9-5. And look at the displeasure by Belisario, the pitcher. That would be the theme of the latter part of this game. Later in the inning, Wilson Valdez coming back at you. Francisco scores from second. It's a 9-6 game, and now you're starting to believe. Jonathan Broxton is in. You know his record. He had a 9 ERA in 4 appearances at Citizens Bank Park. He gets spooked when he faces the Phillies, and the pattern continues. He immediately plunks Polanco to lead off the 9th, walks Mike Sweeney on a 3-2 count, and here we go. Jason Worth with first and second, walks on the high fastball, bases loaded, nobody out. Joe Torre and Broxton go into the cone of silence to talk it over. Of course, Torre sticks with his closer, and the hex is on. Francisco grounds to third. That's between the legs of Casey Blake. 2 score. It's now a 9-8 game. And next up, Carlos Ruiz stepping in the box with runners at first and second.
In the air to left center field, toward the alleyway. This one's going to be tied. It's off the top of the wall. The Phillies may win it. Francisco's right behind Worth. Carlos Ruiz, a two-run walk-off double. How about that?
I think it's time to make it official. Chooch is so clutch, you just got to call him Klooch. Phillies rally from 9-2 to beat the Dodgers 10-9.
As the season passes through the midway point of August, the importance of each series begins to magnify. The boys from Atlanta are the main focus during the chase for a fourth straight division title. But taking a step forward towards solidifying their postseason possibilities is also the task at hand. Control of the wild card lead is on the line next. Oh yeah, and having this guy back won't hurt. Oh, they're tossing out the welcome mat here at Citizens Bank Park tonight because there's a couple homecomings to talk about as the Phils get set to take on the San Francisco Giants in Game 1 of a 3-game series. The storyline, well, it goes like this. The Phillies and the Giants essentially tied for the top spot in the wild card. So these 3 games, they are whoppers right now in the National League. Hi, everybody. I'm York Mets. So it's Game 1 of 3 between the Phils and the San Francisco Giants. How about Roy Oswalt making his 4th start of the year against the Giants? The other 3 came against Tim Lincecum, so he's happy to see Barry Zito as the
ballpark tonight. As you see Oswalt's numbers, and you know the one loss, of course, is not that great, but his numbers are very good.
Right-hander sitting just 199 against him. Lefty sitting 261, and he's behind 2 balls and no strike. You see a scouting report brought to you by Southwest Airlines.
And fastball 90 to 94 with good movement. This guy is a tremendous competitor. He really likes his new changeup. He's a lot like Roy Halladay. He just threw one there on the second pitch of the game. Tremendous curveball. He's 0-3 against the Giants this year, but a very low earned run average because the Astros didn't score for him.
Astros didn't score for him, and all 3 of the games that he pitched against the Giants came against Tim Lincecum.
Before Lincecum went into a little bit of funk that he's in right now. Lincecum was at the top of his game in those games.
2-1 the count to Torres. And a swing and a miss. That fastball jumped on Torres, and it's 2-2. Torres is having a good year, hitting .288 with 11 homers and 47 RBIs. You might think, well, this is a pretty good young player for the Giants. Well, he's 32 years old.
His numbers are a lot better left-handed too. He's a switch hitter. He can fly, cover ground in center field, and that big ballpark in San Francisco, that's really important.
Well, he's hitting .314 against right-handed pitching this year. And he lines one over the glove of Sweeney down the right field line. Worth gets over to it quickly. Torres will get to second as the throw comes in on a few hops, and there's a leadoff double for Andres Torres, his 39th double of the year.
Yeah, 39 doubles. You know, tied for first in the league with Jason Worth before that, and
the top of the first.
Yeah, they're in damage control right now, just trying to stay out of a big inning right out of the chute.
Huff is having a good year despite his struggles lately, and he chops one right side. That could be 2. There's Utley. There's 1 for Jimmy over to first in time. It's a 4-6-3 double play. It's 1-0 San Francisco, but still a double play to put the first 2 out.
There in the Southwest Airlines scouting report, he'll pitch backwards with the breaking ball and changeup, and his fastball in the area of 84 to 88. That's his record against the Phillies. One of those games was with Oakland.
Sandoval boxes the first play, and Jimmy is safe at first. 10th error of the year for Pablo Sandoval. That's a good way to answer a 2-run top of the first.
Listen to the ovation for Utley now, but that wasn't even a tough play for Sandoval.
Oh, the man is flat out amazing how he heals.
I guess.
Back approximately 13 days, 14 days before he was supposed to be back. And he's played in a handful of games down in Clearwater, and he is ready to roll. Batting with a runner at first, and he takes a fastball up high, and it's 1-0.
Right out of the chute against a tough left-hander too. This guy isn't nasty, Zito, because he doesn't throw that hard. He'll work from the third base side of the rubber, but he's just got good stuff, and he throws that big old hook and freezes left-handed hitters.
Well, since the All-Star break, he's 1-2 with a 2.57 ERA. And Chase takes the first 2 pitches upstairs. It's 2-0. Jimmy leads off first. And he rolls it toward the left side. Sandoval again underhands. And they get one. Boy, I thought Fontenot was off the bag when he caught that ball from Sandoval. But there's one away.
That's an example. The Giants, big time money, huge contract, long term. And lately, you know, last year he started picking up a little bit, and this year he's been good again.
0-2 the count to Polanco. Rolled on the ground toward the hole. Backhanded by Uribe. The throw to second, not in time. And Chase going feet first. And it'll be a base hit for Polanco. Good base because of the struggles that Sanchez has been going through over at second. 1-2 the count to him. And he rolls over on one of the right side. Sweeney has to hustle back to the bag as Utley throws him out. 9-pitch inning for Roy Oswalt. Nice bounce back for the top of the first. We've played 1.5 here in Philadelphia. We go to the bottom of the second, and Mike Sweeney will lead it off. Talked about, you know, this series, how important a matchup it is. Well, how about the rankings in the National League between these two starting staffs? Look at that, Wheels. I mean, it's pretty close.
Yeah. Good pitching. Good starting pitching. The complete bullpen is so good, and they've been able to pull some games out at the end.
1-0 the count to Raul Ibanez, and Raul ends what has got to have felt like a season-long drought between hits. He was 0 for his previous 18 before that hit.
Yeah, he was hot before that.
Saturday's ball game for the Nationals.
Pitch Sunday.
Toward left center field, Victorino on the run, and he makes the sliding grab. I thought that ball was hit harder than it was. And I think on the hands, but to left center field. Ibanez on the run into the alleyway. He got there, and he makes the grab, and the side is retired. That ball hung up there nicely for Raul, and it also sliced back to him. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. A couple pretty good defensive plays in the outfield, and that takes us to the bottom of the third. Lead at 2-0. They scored 2 in the first, including 1 on a home run by Pat Burrell. Hey, nobody delivers office supplies faster or for less than W.B. Mason. With free
K's Juan Uribe to end the inning. For Oswalt, 7 strikeouts in 7 strong. He allows 6 knocks and 3 earned. Phillies have a problem solving Barry Zito until the 5th inning. With a man on, 1 out, Carlos Ruiz has a crazy at-bat. He fouls off 5 pitches as part of a 10-pitch at-bat, making the big left-hander work. Ruiz eventually works a walk to put 2 men on, and Oswalt's sac bunt moves the runners into scoring position with 2 down for Jimmy Rollins. What does he do? He delivers. That's a single to center. Both runners score. Phillies are on the board. The game is now even at 2 apiece. And the Phillies go back at it in the 6th inning. Placido Polanco brings his stick to work on a regular basis. Pounds 1. His 3rd hit of the night. Polanco goes 5 for 4. And in the process, passes Joey Votto for the National League batting lead. After Worth doubles, Victorino drives 1 to left center. Polanco scores. So does Worth. Phillies take a 4-2 lead, and for Barry Zito, the night is over. Phillies 4-3 in the 8th. They lead by only a run, but the sacks are packed for Carlos Ruiz. Talk about clutch. Bingo. He smokes a double off the wall and left. 2 more score. For Ruiz, that's 13 ribbies in the month of August. He's hotter than July. 6-3 Phillies. After pitching, change, and a ground out, Rollins comes up again. Why not? Pound 1 through the right side. That scores Ibanez. But J-Roll, a 3 ribby night, and the Phillies turn an early deficit, and later a close game into a 9-3 rout of the Giants.